Alright guys, so I've got the Epomaker 84 here today. I bought this from Amazon, but you can get it from the actual store itself. I finally got my hands on it. It's such a nice keyboard, so much better than I actually originally thought. Epomaker EP84 is quite a well-established brand in the keyboard space. It's quite budget-friendly as far as custom keyboards go. On Amazon, it's £80, which equates to about $103 US at the current time of making this video. However, probably the most brilliant thing about this keyboard is that it comes at £52, equating to $68 US when directly sourcing from Epomaker themselves. However, delivery times may vary across different regions is the issue. Like when I originally wanted to buy it, it said like 30 working days, or I don't know, it was 15 to 30 working days, and I couldn't be bothered for that, so I just paid up £80. But oh my god, it was worth it. So what's about to happen is I'm about to waffle about the keyboard sizes and how they change. So I've left the size guide here if you just want to have a quick glance and stop me from waffling. Just skip to the next part of the video. All right. Just for reference, the Epomaker is a 75%, which is the one in the middle. This is one of Epomaker's 75% layout keyboards, and what this means is in comparison to other keyboard sizes, there'll be different feature sets. Most commonly it goes from 40% to full-size keyboards. Just give you a quick run through about what the different percentages mean. It just means how many keys and what features you have basically, but I've seen 40% keyboards with like arrow keys, which are quite rare considering 60% don't have them, but 40% no one has them. Don't buy a 40%, please. It doesn't have a number row, it doesn't have the functions up here, the F1 to F12. It doesn't have it just has the keys. It has the tabs, cap, shift, control, Windows something, alt, spacebar, and it just goes up to here basically. And most of these like extra characters here are spaced across the letters, so it'd be shift like A or some random stuff, or like your colons and semicolons, you know what I mean? 60%, I do believe they actually have a number pad this time. Not number pads, right? They have the numbers. Same thing as last time, but it doesn't have arrow keys normally, which is quite weird. The 10 keyless, I believe it's called, where you have like you don't have a numpad, but you have the arrow keys, and some of these things kind of spaced out a bit more to the right, and then you have this keyboard a bit more spaced out. It's just a larger keyboard. And the full-size keyboard is where you have obviously the arrow keys, all the page up, page down, random stuff, and a whole number pad. Like that's really good for crunching down digits, but I think it's basically useless for the common day person. Let's move on to the specs now. Right, on to the actual specs of the Epomaker EP84. The switches are all hot swappable Gideon, and it comes in black, brown, yellow, blue, and red. And I have to say, red, brown, and yellow are just superior. There are 84 keys all in all, which are in fact put in die sub keycaps, PBT. And what this means is that the color won't fade over time, and they're high quality in terms of the color fading, and also they're quite ergonomic to touch. It's got a bit more of a concave in than other keyboards. I felt it's quite good. Obviously the design is beautiful. One thing I have to say is these green colorway, like it just doesn't come in on if you buy it directly from their website. This was on Amazon. It came pre-lubed and everything. It comes in pre-lubed from their site as well, but it doesn't come with these particular key sets. It comes in like black and some other colors, but more on that later. RGB. Oh, this keyboard has some lovely RGB effects. It has 12 lighting effects, 7 different color configurations for each of those 12 lighting effects, with 2 or 3 like mixed colors, like a rainbow, and there's some other ones. But I can quickly run through those if you like. Before I do, let me just go through some other stuff about this keyboard. This particular keyboard, I've got Gateron Pro Yellow. Epomaker do have their own brand for their switches actually, which are pretty popular. It's the Budgerigar, something like that, and then the Flamingo switches, which are also quite viable options. I would recommend personally as well. The best things that these keys are stock lubed, as I said, and the key color is actually called the Botanic Garden keycaps if you want to buy them separately or buy the one from Amazon. It's the Botanic Garden colorway. And yeah, there's 4 different color variations. Yeah, here's what it looks like. Obviously, it's not nighttime, but I'll simulate nighttime. It's as dark as I can get it to. I'll go through each mode now. Right, now we're on this one. This is actually my favorite. This one I use to type all the time. It's just, yeah, I don't know, it's just quite nice. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the noise of this, but it is. There's also no jiggle space on the keyboard. On the space bar. It's quite nice there, because a lot of keyboards that come from a lot of companies, especially the budget lines, keyboards are quite uneven. Alright, let's go back on with this. So the best thing about this keyboard, in terms of lighting effects, is the color. It's memory, basically. So whatever color you have on each effect will be saved. So every time you go back to that effect that you like, you can save different colors on different effects. So it just saves the hassle of changing it every time you boot up your keyboard, and that's quite convenient, I'd say. Onto the connectivity of the keyboard. It offers 2.4 GHz refresh rate. That means a more stable connection and almost 0 typing lag. And to date, no desktop or laptop really comes with that inbuilt with 2.4 GHz. So the dongle is what you need to allocate that 2.4 GHz. It won't just work through Bluetooth. On the topic of Bluetooth, it has Bluetooth 5.0, and that's all you will really need, as the latency rates average about to be 20 milliseconds, in worst cases 40 milliseconds. So if you're going to be gaming, the wired connection will always be superior. That's what I use, really. But at least to use the dongle, if you're gaming, at the minimum, I'd say. But if you're quite serious about your gaming, but for general use and typing comfort, you know, Bluetooth is fine. Like, unless you're a gamer, you're not going to need it. For most people, I'd say, even if you are gaming, Bluetooth is completely fine. It's just I'm a bit nitpicky with these sort of things. Having 3 modes of connectivity is also quite useful, am I right? Like wired, dongle, and Bluetooth. Bluetooth also 3 devices it can connect to. To do that, I'll actually run through how to do it. Use the function button, which is this one, by the way. It's the leaf for me. Function 1, 2, and 3 makes the keyboard go to each Bluetooth device. Function 4 goes to the dongle, and then function 5 goes back to wired. So if you want to switch in between all of them, that's how you do it. And just to conclude, if you've ever thought about entering the world of mechanical keyboards, it can be quite daunting. There's lots of videos online about this sort of stuff. This is a great starter with a friendly entry point experience, without all the pre-work of custom modding and lubing and changing the keycaps, etc, etc. This has to be one of the best stock keyboards that I've ever used, which comes at a very budget-friendly price, especially if you buy it directly from them and source it directly from them. It also has great capability to be used as a custom mod later down the line if you wish to do so. It also does come with some extra padding behind, but you can add more padding if you want and lube it. I'm probably gonna lube it in like 3 months. The lube is really good, I'd say. I quite like it, but it can definitely use some more. Also, on the Epomaker website, there is, you can buy it bare bone. If you want to put your own, customize it however you want, you can just buy the bare bone version. There's also higher end models if you want that one, but this, you know, you don't need a high end model. You can just buy a low end model and upgrade it all the way to high end, like literally, I swear to God. But yeah, all right, thanks guys. yeah, at the end of the day, it's a pretty keyboard with RGB lights. It also has some back support that I mentioned. The switch is right there, and yeah, it has 2 levels of back support, but I don't know how to activate this one, so yeah, you're just gonna have to. Oh, forgot to mention, the switch is on the back, I said that, but the frame is also detachable if you prefer it without a frame. I know a lot of people like that gamery sort of feel, but for me, the aesthetic feel is more important for me. I type a lot, I write my essays, I'm a student, so this is very much more comfortable for me just to have the frame on. Yeah, alright, and that's it. So thanks for watching, like, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.